जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। जय गोपी जन वल्लभ गिरिवरधारी। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यशोदानंदन ब्रज जन रंजन। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। यमुना तीरा वनचारी। जय राधा माधव कुंज बिहारी। Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jaya Jaya Prabhupada, Prabhupada, Jaya Jaya Prabhupada. जय ओम विष्णुपाद परमहंस परिव्राजकाचार्य अष्टोत्तर श्री श्रीमद डिवाइन ग्रेस एसी भक्ति वेदांत स्वामी श्रील प्रभुपाद की अनंत कोटि वैष्णव वृंद की निताय गौर प्रेमानंदे। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय। ओम अज्ञानतिमिरन्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूपा कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं। वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरो श्रीयुतापदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवांश्च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातां सहगणा रघुनाथान्वितं तां सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्णचैतन्यदेवं श्रीराधा कृष्णपादान् सहगणा ललिता श्रीविशाखान्वितांश्च। हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधो दीनबंधो जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिकाकान्त राधाकान्त नमोस्तुते। तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषभानुसुते देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये। वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौर भक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे हरे, हरे राम 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 हरे हरे। हरे कृष्णा। So we will continue our discussion on the Bhagavad Gita. We are on chapter 1, text number 3. So I will recite the verse. It's written on the board. I will recite 3 or 4 times. And if anyone wants to follow, they can follow. Pashyaitam Panduputranam Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada-putrena Vyudham Drupada-putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata Tava Shishyena Dhimata Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada-putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Vyudham Drupada-putrena Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Anyone wants to recite? Pashyaitam Panduputranam Acharya Mahatim Chamum Tava Shishyena Dhimata. Anyone else? Pashyaitam Panduputranam Vyudham Drupada-putrena. So we'll see the word to word meaning. Pashya, behold. Etam, this. Panduputranam, of the sons of Pandu. Acharya, O teacher. Mahatim, great. Chamum, military force. Vyudham, arranged. Drupada-putrena, by the son of Drupada. Tava, your. Shishyena, disciple. Dhimata, very intelligent. Translation purport by His Divine Grace Srila Prabhupada. O my teacher, behold the great army of the sons of Pandu, so expertly arranged by your intelligent disciple, the son of Drupada. Purport. Duryodhana, a great diplomat, wanted to point out the defects of Dronacharya, the great Brahmana commander-in-chief. Dronacharya had some political quarrel with King Drupada, the father of Draupadi, who was Arjuna's wife. As a result of this quarrel, Drupada performed a great sacrifice by which he received the benediction of having a son who would be able to kill Dronacharya. Dronacharya knew this perfectly well, and yet, as a liberal Brahmana, he did not hesitate to impart all his military secrets when the son of Drupada, Drishtadyumna, was entrusted to him for military education. Now on the battlefield of Kurukshetra, Drishtadyumna took the side of the Pandavas, and it was he who arranged for their military phalanx, after having learned the art from Dronacharya. Duryodhana pointed out this mistake of Dronacharya so that he might be alert and uncompromising in the fighting. By this, he wanted to point out also that he should not be similarly lenient in battle against the Pandavas, who were also Dronacharya's affectionate students. Arjuna especially was his most affectionate and brilliant student. Duryodhana also warned that such leniency in the fight would lead to defeat. So this is some historical reference to the characters of Mahabharata. So here we find this statement is made by, this shloka is recited by Duryodhana. He is approaching Dronacharya, who is the military teacher of both the Pandavas and Kauravas. And he is explaining to him the situation, updating him about the situation. So at least from this verse it appears that he is appreciating the Pandavas' army, saying Mahatim Chamum of the Pandavas. Externally it appears that he is glorifying the Pandavas' army and their arrangement, but actually he is not. He is actually alarmed by the arrangement made by the Pandavas. Because after an exile, banishment of 14 years in the forest, no one would expect that they would come back and arrange such a huge army. Although the army was small compared to Duryodhana's army, but still, whatever he saw in front of him was more than he had estimated. So therefore he was like quite taken aback. It's a huge army and well arranged army, ready to fight, not that scattered here and there. So well thought out, planned arrangement, ready to strike whenever the signal is given. So seeing all this, he understood the seriousness of the situation, that this battle is not going to be a small fight as I had expected. So this is going to be a serious battle and the stakes are high and anything can happen. Not going to be easy victory, if at all victory is going to be ours. So therefore he is approaching Dronacharya. Now Duryodhana, although he was a great fighter, he was not known for commanding a side and leading a side. Therefore he goes to Dronacharya, who happens to be the teacher of everyone. He's called Acharya here. Acharya usually is used to refer to a spiritual master, one who gives you spiritual education, philosophical education. But Acharya is also used for any general teacher. So in this case, Dronacharya is not a spiritual guru of Pandavas and Kauravas. He is a teacher who imparted military education. There are other teachers also. Kripacharya was also a teacher. Dhaumya was also a teacher. Vyasadeva is also a teacher. So Dronacharya is a teacher of imparting military education, the use of arrows and other things, other weapons. So in this case, Duryodhana is going and updating. Look, the huge, nicely arranged army. So we need to get ready for this. Get ready for a huge battle. So in the verse, he is saying, Drupada putrena, tava shishyena dhimata. So there is a reason, as Prabhupada explains in the purport, there is a reason why he is referring to Drishtadyumna as Drupada Putra. He is not directly saying Drishtadyumna, although he has a name. He is referring to him as the son of Drupada. And there is a reason behind why he is calling him like that. So the Mahabharata explains how there was this enmity between Dronacharya and Drupada. So in their childhood, both of them studied in the same school, both Dronacharya and Drupada. And in the school, everyone is equal, right? You're not son of a king and you are son of a beggar or son of someone else. You don't discriminate. The teacher doesn't discriminate. Everyone is equal. Everyone has to go through the same routine. And whether you are the son of a king or son of a beggar, you have to follow the same routine. So Dronacharya happened to be a son of a poor Brahmana, very economically backward family. And Drupada is like king's son, going to be the king. So a rich background. But in the school, they were all nice. Both of them were nice friends. And both of them they continued their friendship even after the school for some time. So when they were in school, Drupada had said to him, Dronacharya, that in case you need any help from me anytime, come to me. I will help you. And Dronacharya remembered that promise. And then both of them passed out of the school. They got married, they had their family. So Dronacharya had married his wife, and then they had a son, Ashwathama. So it is said that in his childhood, Ashwathama, the family was so poor that they didn't have even milk to drink. Ashwathama didn't get even proper milk. So then his mother would, mix wheat flour, atta, in water and give it as milk. It looks white. No, both are white in color. That's how poor the family was. So one day they thought, okay, let me go to Drupada, my king friend. Maybe he can help me. So Dronacharya goes to Drupada's palace and tells him, my dear friend, remember? You had promised you will help me. So I need your help. Now the interesting thing is Drupada didn't recognize or didn't consider him to be a friend at that time. For whatever reason. We don't know the dynamics between their relationship. But for some reason Drupada didn't feel this is appropriate from Dronacharya's side to call me a friend. You are a poor Brahmin. I am the king. You call me a friend? How can you do that? औकात है कि नहीं तुम्हारा? So in this way he insulted him. Now interestingly, Drupada is known for giving charity to Brahmanas. There are references where he is giving thousands of cows and riches and other things to Brahmanas. And here Dronacharya is a Brahman. His friend, childhood's friend. So when he is coming, somehow he insulted him for some reason. And Dronacharya is humiliated. In front of the assembly, he humiliating me. And he goes back home, deciding to take revenge. So then he is waiting for an opportunity, and by some stroke of good luck, he gets the job of becoming the teacher of the Pandavas and Kauravas. So while roaming around, he saw these children playing. The sons of Duryodhana and his brothers, Yudhishthira and brothers, they were playing and the ball fell into a well and they were wondering how to take out the ball. And they saw Dronacharya there and he requested, can you help us take this ball out? So Dronacharya said, come on, such a simple thing. Then what he does, he puts blades of grass, which fall one above the other and forms a nice thread-like structure. And he pulls out the ball out of the well. And everyone is amazed. The boys are amazed. How can someone do this? Grass ko rassi bana ke utha liya. And then they go and report to Bhishma. Bhishma is like their head of the family. And Bhishma, they tell him, this is what happened. Our ball fell and this person, unknown stranger, comes and then he picks up the ball. So Bhishma is also on the lookout of a teacher who can become the teacher of these boys. And when he hears this, he says, maybe he is the one. So he comes running and he interviews Dronacharya and he says, if you are ready, then we give you the post of becoming the teacher. So Dronacharya becomes the official appointed teacher. And then he gives all the training and education to these boys, all skills and all art in the use of Astra Shastra, everything, all kinds of weapons. And as Prabhupada points out, the Pandavas were favorites. Arjuna especially became the favorite in terms of behavior and skill, both. Both are important, skill and behavior. Someone may have all the skill, but behaviorally he may be a rascal. So sometimes someone has very gentle behavior, but then skill they don't have. Arjun had both. Jai Radha Gopinath Bhagwan ki. So in this way, Dronacharya imparted all the education to these boys and they performed a test, examination was conducted and Arjun excelled everyone. Others also were performing well, but Arjun performed the best. So then the education was over, and then they had to give a Guru Dakshina, right? Unlike modern education where you have to pay a huge amount of donation in the beginning, and then the education starts. In this case, fees are paid at the end, after the education is over. Today's parents have big anxiety. How many children to have? Well, every children means crores of rupees for education, lakhs of rupees per month. So the Guru Dakshina was asked. So Dronacharya was waiting for this opportunity. When will I get the opportunity to specify my Guru Dakshina? Then he said, I don't want any ordinary Guru Dakshina. I have this enemy, Drupada. I want you all to go and conquer him. So first the Kauravas say, we will go. We will easily do it. And everyone goes, Duryodhan and all the brothers, they go. They challenge Drupada. And then they have a nice battle. And Drupada actually easily defeats Duryodhan and his brothers. And then they come back humiliated. But the Guru Dakshina is still pending. So then the next remaining set of brothers go. Arjun and Yudhishthira, they said, okay, now we will go. It's our chance. Then they go. They challenge Drupada. And there is a big fight. And then they easily capture Drupada. Defeat him and his army. Bhima and Arjun especially. And capture him. They don't kill him. They capture him. And brings him to Dronacharya. And throws him in the ground. Here is your Guru Dakshina. And Dronacharya is extremely pleased with Arjun and the Pandavas. And he says, release him from the bondage. And he says, remember our incident when I came to you and you humiliated? I now want half of your kingdom as a gift, to release you. So Drupada forcefully, helplessly says, okay, half of my kingdom is yours. So this is the enmity between Dronacharya and Drupada. And Drupada, now Drupada's turn to take revenge. So her kingdom is divided. Half of the kingdom goes to Dronacharya. So Drupada is harboring how to take revenge. He wants to take revenge against Dronacharya, and he is impressed by Arjun's skills and talent. So revenge against Dronacharya and a relation with Arjun he wants. A relation can happen only in marriage. So he wants a son who can kill Dronacharya and a daughter to marry Arjun. So how do you do that? So in those days they would perform sacrifices, yajna. If you have a specific desire, specific wish to fulfill, you appoint a priest and express your desire, and the priest will perform the appropriate ritual, and out will come whatever you want, provided everything goes right. The mantras are chanted right, the ingredients are right, and the timing is right, the purity of the priest is right, the intention of the performer is right, everything has to be matched. So who will do this? So look out of a priest who can accomplish this task for him. So he's observing several priests, whom should I ask? Finally he finds two brothers, Yaja and Upayaja. He's been observing everyone who is austere and who is strictly following the principles. So he goes to these two. He's finds these two appear to be good ones. Probably they can fulfill my desire. So he goes to the younger one, Upayaja, who is actually considered more powerful. And he tells, look, he first serves him. 1 year he spends time with him, he invites him, he serves him nicely, before expressing your desire. Not that directly you say, okay, here is my desire, I'll pay you this much. It doesn't work like that. Not a business transaction. He serves him, pleases him, and then one day he says, look, I have this desire. I want to take revenge against Dronacharya. And I want a son who can kill him. As soon as Upayaja hears this, he says, impossible. I am not going to get involved in this thing, this project. No way. So Drupada is disappointed. He says, okay, then who will do it for me? So he thinks about it for some time and says, you can go to my brother, elder brother, Yaja. He may do it. Why do you think he will do it? He asks. He makes a nice point. He says, I have seen him, the elder one, Yaja. I have seen him once when there was nothing to eat. He just picked up something on the road, some fruit or something, and without examining it for its purity, he ate it. So then he will do. This point is someone who is not discriminating what to eat, how to eat. If he's careless about the choice of food, and if he eats anything, then his intelligence is contaminated. Such a person with contaminated intelligence will agree to anything. That was the whole idea. That's the reasoning he gave why he will perform the yajna. So then too you may go and ask him. He will agree to your thing. So it's a nice point. No, the food we eat has an impact on our attitudes, our thought process. The Gita actually goes into great detail in the 18th chapter. Food in the 3 modes. 17th chapter. Food in the mode of goodness, in passion, in ignorance. Food that vitalizes your body and sattvic in nature, prolongs your lifespan, juicy, fatty, wholesome. That is food in the mode of goodness. Food that is extremely hot and spicy and tikha and kadwa, all those excess, all this taste in excess is food in the mode of passion. And food that is stale and smelling remnants of others, all these are food in the mode of ignorance. So food has an impact. And the people who cook the food, that also has an impact. So ideally, we should eat food cooked at home, nice environment with love and affection. Ideally, we should offer it to Krishna and then eat as prasad. And food that we purchase from outside, we don't know who has cooked it, what kind of consciousness is entering into the food, whether they are angry, so many emotions anyone can have, right, while cooking. And that food, when we eat, we become like that. So no wonder why people, after eating a heavy meal, they get angry and shout at others. You don't know what the emotion of the cook was. He might have just fought with his wife or boss and then come and cook the food. And all those anger has penetrated into the food, and then you eat that food and then you become angry at your family members. So therefore food is important. So this is the point he made. Because he is not so careful about the food, he will agree to your proposal. So as expected, he goes there to Yaja, the elder brother. And he says, okay, I will do it for you. So they do. The date is fixed, everything is fixed, and the yajna is performed. Interestingly, the elder brother drags the younger brother also into the sacrifice. You help me. You become my assistant. So the younger brother unwillingly participates in the sacrifice. And then they perform the yajna, and out of the yajna come one boy and a girl. Grown-up boys, not that baby boy and girl. So the man was Drishtadyumna, and the girl was Draupadi. So So they are trained. So Drupada's desire was Draupadi should become the wife of Arjun, and Drishtadyumna will be the killer of Dronacharya. So then, now Drishtadyumna has to be trained, right? He is destined to kill Dronacharya, but for training, Drishtadyumna goes to Dronacharya. That is the funny thing. And Dronacharya knows Drishtadyumna is destined to kill me, but then he welcomes him, accepts him as a student. This is Vedic culture. That Brahmana doesn't, although he knows this is the fact, but he accepts him. As a teacher, I have to be impartial. And he accepts him as a student, gives him all knowledge. The ideal Brahmanical behavior. So Drishtadyumna becomes he learns everything, comes back, now he becomes the commander-in-chief of the Pandava army. Of course, later Draupadi got married to Arjun, all those things happened. So now in the war, Duryodhana is pointing out this fact, reminding by saying, Drupada putrena tava shishyena dhimata. He is reminding Dronacharya that, look, this Drupada Putra is your killer, by the way. And you are the one who imparted all the education. You made a big blunder by giving all the education. Now see what he has done. He has arranged the army to fight against us. Your knowledge is being used to against you. So that is a big blunder you made. So Duryodhana was such a person, he could advise his teacher. He's so arrogant that he had the guts to advise his teacher. Tell him that you are wrong here and there. That's not considered very appropriate. And Duryodhana had this feeling that Bhishma and Drona are always partial towards the Pandavas, which was true. They were unwilling to fight the war, and they were more affectionate towards the Pandavas. But forcefully they were dragged into the war, and circumstantially they were dragged. So Duryodhana knew he had his affection for the Pandavas, Dronacharya and Bhishma both. And he never missed an opportunity to remind them, look, because you are partial to them, therefore you are not fighting properly, therefore I am losing the war and I am losing my men. Because you didn't fight. And these people would say, Arey Baba, we are putting our whole life and energy, we are trying our best, but what to do? They are superior, but they are guided by Krishna, they are guided by providence, they are guided by dharma, ultimately, and guided by Krishna. So we told you so many times, you are going to lose the war, but you never listen. Now you are losing and now you are blaming us. So in this way, but here, this is the beginning of the war. So Duryodhana is telling, so don't be lenient. We have to fight with full energy. And you made one mistake of educating Drishtadyumna. Now don't commit any mistake by being lenient towards them. So in this way, Duryodhana is warning. Now the interesting thing is, the Pandavas here, although coming after a 13-year exile, they didn't waste their time when they were in exile. Sometimes what happens is when we know, we become enthusiastic to accept any challenge. A challenge is there, I will do it. But we may not prepare ourselves nicely. So being fearless is not enough. We have to be tactful also, strategic also. So Pandavas, it is said, during the 13-year exile, they collected all the different arms and mantras and astras. Duryodhana met Arjun met Lord Shiva. and he got the Pashupatastra. He went to Swargaloka. He got all the education from Indra. There he assisted Indra in defeating his enemies, the Danavas. That's a big description how Arjun, after learning all the education there, he was assigned a task. Go to this lower planetary systems. There are these asuras who are disturbing the devatas. So one group of asuras were there called Nivata Kavachas. Then he goes there into their region with an army, and there is a big fight, and he defeats them. And then some other enemies are there. He defeats them, and he comes back. So, and then Indra is pleased and he blesses him, says, "Don't worry, the war is going to happen. You have full blessings of mine. You will come out victorious." So Bhima also would prepare. All the five Pandavas, they were like preparing, and they were making friends and allies for the future. They were guided. They would regularly consult experts, the sages and other experts. Krishna would come, rishis would come, Narad Muni, Markandeya Muni, and so many other rishis would come regularly into the forest to their camp. And they would guide them in scriptural wisdom, other worldly wisdom. So they never were thinking, "Oh, now we are helpless, in the forest, we can't do anything, and fate is like this, destiny is like this, so what can we do?" That kind of negative attitude they never had. Although they felt bad of losing everything, but they never became despondent. So 13 years got over, and then the war date was fixed, and everything is done. They did their best. They allied with the Yadus, Krishna as their chariot driver consultant, and they had other allies. Drupada was there, Virata was there. So they did quite good. So in this way, whenever we have a challenge, we can't be giving an excuse saying, "Oh, I am in a helpless situation, so what can I do?" And ultimately everything is destiny, and whatever happens, it's my karma. That excuse is not appreciated. In spite of doing everything, if the result is bad, then we can say, "Okay, it is my karma." Without putting any effort, you can't blame karma. So God helps those who help themselves. There's a saying, right? So, like the Damodar pastime also, the two-finger theory. The one finger is our effort. The second finger is God's grace, Krishna's grace. Similarly, the Pandavas did all their effort, made strategies. So if you read the Mahabharata, all the 18 days, every day, every morning, they're planning. The previous night they are planning. Okay, next day we have to arrange our army like in this formation. Who will stand where? Who will attack whom? Which formation? So there are different formations. Krauncha formation and Chakra Vyuha and then needle-shaped formation. So there are different, all these military sciences there. So if the opposite army is arranging the army in a certain fashion, how to counteract in a different fashion. So all these details were there. So they were quite expert. And that's how, in spite of having a smaller army, they were able to defeat the Kauravas. Even in our modern history, Indian history, you find the British and the Mughals attacking various kingdoms, Marathas and others. How, in spite of having a small army, the Marathas, and then they would fight with the Aurangzeb's army or the British army, and then they would come out successful, right? So courage and strategy has to be there, even if our numbers are small. A small, courageous, united army is more effective than a large, fearful, scattered army. So therefore, the Mahabharata teaches us, the Ramayana also, we find the monkeys, although they were untrained, monkeys are like monkeys, but they are untrained compared to Ravana's soldiers. Ravana like, high quality, sophisticated army he had with all the weapons. And monkeys, what they had? They had stones and trees and their nails. This was their weapon. But because they were united on a noble mission to serve Ram, serve Krishna here, supporting Dharma, they come out victorious. So ultimately, Dharma rakshati rakshataha. Dharma is what protects. Shastra, Dharma, saints, and ultimately God. These three are the guiding protective principles. Other things are external details. You may have the best of army, best of resources, best of influence, but if you don't have the blessings of the saintly people, the guidance of scriptural wisdom, and ultimately the blessings of Krishna, everything can fail. This is a crucial philosophical point. Duryodhana had all the resources, the best of army generals, the best of commanders-in-chief, the best of fighters, numbers was in his favor. And Pandavas had only lesser number, but Krishna, guided by Dharma, Yudhishthira was the embodiment of Dharma. Never violated any dharmic principle. The Pandavas in general and Yudhishthira in particular. And they were always guided by sages. They never offended anyone, respected everyone. So every dealing was like attracting blessings upon blessings. Although externally it appeared that they were losing, but every dealing that they were having was inviting blessings upon everything. Whereas Duryodhana's every action was inviting curses. So all these curses came together and all the blessings came together. And the result was obvious. So we need not be discouraged by some temporary setbacks and temporary reversals in life. And we not think, oh, I am doing all the right things and I am never offended anyone and I am always good to others. Why bad things are happening to me? It takes time to get the results. So in this way, we learn so much from the behavior of the Pandavas and the behavior of Duryodhana. Ultimately, we have to take shelter of dharmic wisdom, and then success is guaranteed. So we'll stop here. Any comment or question anyone has? Any thoughts? Yeah, yes, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji. It was an excellent, because the saramsha is, ultimately that one need to fight back, whether it is Kurukshetra, whether it is, one's own life. The moral, what you mentioned is that, in warfare, the general saying that, in love and war, everything is fair. But the courage we need to gather is the most difficult thing. The principles of courage, whether it is in the Gurukul, whether it is in the society. So I would request you to guide all the devotees that how do you gather courage? Because that is where, in spite of Pandavas in exile, they did not lose courage. But the common man has that difficulty. Thank you.
So usually we think that courage depends on my confidence, my abilities, my skills, my knowledge, my influence. If I have all these things in the right place, in the right amount, then I am courageous. I become confident. But usually real courage depends on who is backing us. A small child can challenge anyone if he knows my father is there behind me, right? And so we get the confidence and the courage by who is supporting me, what is my Who is backing me? Prahlad, 5-year-old boy, right? He was courageous. His father was the biggest terrorist at that time. He tried to persecute him in so many ways, tried to kill him in so many ways, but he was courageous. He could say on the face of his father that you are wrong. Everyone else was trembling in front of him, but little Prahlad had no fear. Because he knew that Vishnu, Krishna is protecting him. So that's the source of all fearlessness, all confidence and courage. We have to take shelter of Abhaya Charana Ravindare, Bhaja Hure Mana Shri Nandanandana, Abhaya Charana Ravindare. That's the source of all fearlessness. Yes, Prabhu, you're saying something?
Hare Krishna.
It's very difficult to comprehend that how the Lord is born, when we say Janma Karma Chame Divyam. So, as you said, the instances of Drishtadyumna and Draupadi, that they were born just by a yagya. Are there any more instances who can be cited when we, tell to others that it's not that just you need a father and mother to, have children? Any more instances like that?
There are. Huh? Prithu and Archie, they were also born out of a sacrifice. Anga's body was churned, right? Vena's body was preserved, and the sages churned the body, and out came these two personalities. All the sages, mental sons of Brahma, they didn't come by a union of mother and father, but meditation. Even Brahma himself was born out of Garbhodakshai Vishnu. So all these mystical births are there in scriptures. Huh? Vritrasur. How was he born? Yeah, the sacrifice. Again, a sacrifice. Huh? 4th canto, 6th canto description. Okay, thank you so much. So we have this course coming up, upcoming course, the 3-day session journey of self-discovery. It's on March 24, 25, 26, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. It's a very nice course where you get a nice overview of the whole Gita. The main themes of the Gita are covered. And after this, when you study the Gita, it will be much easier to understand the message. So those who are interested, those who can take out time, 7 to 9 p.m. in the evenings, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, they can sign up for this and become a part of a nice group. Last 2 weeks back, we had a session. Around 70 people attended. So it's a nice ongoing thing. Every month it's going to happen. So those who are interested can look at the pamphlet, and then if you're interested, you can sign up. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna.